to Victoria Bidwell, we either submit to the surgeons and take those pills and potions, or we can revolutionize our life by being obedient to the laws that govern our body. The law of drinking water and not drinking sodas and coffees and teas and liquors. The law of eating ideal foods such as fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, and not eating this conglomerate of sad standard American food stuff, this processed stuff, this fast food stuff, this cooked food, this fried food, this boiled food, this baked food, this barbecue food, all these different food stuff that we've been ingesting is actually destroying our body. So we need to obey the natural laws, get fresh air, sunlight, get regular exercise, get plenty of sleep, stay away from toxic people, and keep the will to live. Those are the things that are necessary. I'm thanking you for tuning into another episode of Natural is F. I'm your host, Dr. Ferrante Frazier. I am a holistic doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. You're going to hear me say this at every last one of my shows. I'm not a medical doctor. So if you're suffering from a medical issue or you think your disease is a medical condition, then ignore everything we're telling you and you go and get you a qualified medicine man who can drug you or cut on you or, give you some type of curing technique or some type of treatment to help you get out of your health crisis or the issues that your body is suffering from. But if you want to take charge of your life and change your health conditions, your sickness, get rid of your aches and your pains and your premature aging and different things that's suffering in your body, and you want to do that without the use of medicine, without the use of herbs, because I'm not a herbalist either. So if you want to do that, the pure natural, I mean, can't get no more natural. That's why they call the show Natural is F. They can't get no natural than to do it. It's like the song used to say back in the day, wash me, no hands, So we're going to show you how to heal with no type of treatment, with no type of remedies, with no type of pills, you're not going to have to take anything. All you have to do is do what is necessary for even the healthy man to stay healthy. And it's required for the sick man to become healthy. And that is to get fresh air. That is to get adequate sunlight. That is to drink clean, pure water. That is to eat ideal foods such as fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Same stuff I just got finished saying a few minutes ago. Get regular rest, regular exercise, maintain normal temperature, keep emotional balance, stay away from toxic people, keep the will to live, hang around good groups, things like that. Keep cheerfulness. Don't become addicted to anything or let anything have any type of control and, negative habit, in other words. So that is the most naturalist way to heal your body. Now, it won't heal it overnight. A lot of people, we tend to look for cures overnight. And that's why we so quick to run to the medical doctor, because he can stop pain like that with a pill. But he's not addressing what's causing the pain. All he's doing is narcotizing the nerves and deadening the nerves where you don't feel, you know. That's like, you don't want to hear somebody keep breaking in your house. Let's say a man, a robber is breaking in your house, and he, every time he goes to grab the door or grab the window or find his way into the house, he's tripping the alarm. But you don't want to hear the alarm, and you want the alarm to stop, so you cut the alarm off. Now that doesn't make sense. You haven't addressed why the alarm going off, or find out why it's going off. All you did was just cut it off because you don't want to hear the alarm anymore. Now that's going to prove dangerous real soon. By the time the robber comes in, steal all he wants, and possibly even steal your life in the process. But now you have no warning, because why? Every time he come in, or any other robber come in for that matter, you're not going to be warned because you disarm the fire alarm. Now, same thing with the human body. Your pain is a guardian angel. It's warning you that there's stuff going on in your body. There's disease, there's suffering, your body is under repair, what have you. But it's your guardian angel to let you know not to use an organ, not to use a limb, or not to even move, period, just to sit and rest until the pain disappears. But if you constantly allow the body to take pills and potions to quiet that, to quiet that pain, then you are just as the man who cuts the alarm off. All right. And does nothing to look for the robbers and those thieves that come in to steal, kill, and destroy. So, you know, that same thing with the body. You cut the pain off, and now organs and tissues are not aware, or you're not aware when organs and tissues are hurting. You're not aware that you're causing pain and stress to certain parts of your body. Because why? Because there's no pain. You cut the alarm off with your narcotizing pain reliever. All right. So we don't do anything of palliation. We do no treatments, anything like that. So, this is February, right? And we were talking about fasting a lot, and we're going to go a little bit into that even more in just a little bit. But before we start, I always start with talking some quotes from some of our hygienic doctors from the past, those who really brought up this teaching and kept it alive when everyone was going down the murderous route of the medical mindset, or using all these death dealing poisons in which to so-called cure disease. They kept it alive that man is the cause of his own disease. He's the builder of his own sicknesses. And that for him to get well, he must put aside those habits and those lifestyles that are producing his sickness. He have to give up those things that's poisoning his body. He have to give up those things that's weakening his body and wasting away his energy. That's not allowing his body to recover and rejuvenate. So they kept this going on, and we're going to dig into it. We're still with J.H. Tilden. He was that's Dr. J.H. Tilden. He the one came up with the theory of toxemia, where he believed and teaches that all disease is rooted in poisoned blood. Now, that's what toxemia means. Toxemia. Tox is the prefix of it is to mean toxins. Emia is to mean blood, like an anemia or something like that. So you got toxemia. Toxemia together be poison blood. Now, this poison blood is the root to all sickness. I'm going to read something that he wrote and left for us to ponder in our minds. If we can open up our minds to a more holistic approach to healing and not listening to the theories of the medical man, especially Louis Pasteur and his teachings of the germ theory. But here we're talking about the toxemia theory. According to the toxin philosophy, every so-called disease is a crisis of toxemia, which means that toxins have accumulated in the blood above the toleration point. So the body is able to I'm coming back to this, but matter of fact, let me go ahead through it first. And the crisis, the so-called disease, whether it is cold, flu, pneumonia, headache, or typhoid fever, is a vicarious elimination. Nature is endeavoring to rid the body of toxic buildup. Any treatment that obstructs this effort of elimination baffles nature in its efforts of self-curing. All right. So according to the toxin philosophy, every so-called disease that mankind has suffered from, and mainly the acute diseases, is a crisis of toxemia, poison blood, which means that toxins have accumulated above in the blood above the threshold. So the body is able to tolerate a certain amount of poisons in the blood. There's a certain amount of poison. Once the poison get to a certain level, the body must institute action. It must do something about it. It can't sit there and let the toxin level in the blood constantly rise above and kill the body, kill the organism. It can't be saturated. Just like in your fish tank, you can allow some buildup to get into the fish tank before it start causing death to the fishes. But when the tank become too dirty, fishes start dying. So you want to go in there and start cleaning up the fish tank before it gets so filthy that the fishes starts to die. So this is the same thing with the blood. The blood has a toleration point that it can only tolerate a certain level of poison in it at any time. Now, anytime that level reaches over the threshold, the body must institute some type of reaction. They got to do something about it. They got to find a way to get it back down up under the threshold. All right. So what the body do? The body consider this a crisis. Oh, it's a crisis because the organism is about to die. So it have to initiate a crisis of elimination. The so-called disease, the cold, the flu, the pneumonia, the headache, or typhoid fever is a vicarious elimination, meaning that it's a abnormal, heavy flow of poisonous purge. It's just a purge of waste, a vicarious elimination. It's a purge of waste being thrown out of the organism to hurry up and offset that poison load that's on it right now. It's a heavy load of poison that has it over the threshold, and the body must get that threshold down. Well, get the load down back up under the threshold. And the only way to do that is to purge from the blood real fast huge amounts of poison. Now, the only way the body can do that is to institute this thing called a cold. You start sneezing out this green and yellow, purple, black, and green, and all type of other color stuff. You start sweating out this poisonous from the body. You start vomiting up this poison. You start coughing up this poison. You might diarrhea this poison. Now, a cold is more of a small house cleaning, just a little quick tidy up. All right, so the cold don't cause you that much stress. But the flu, on the other hand, is a little more, you'll say, more violent than the cold. Or you'll say it's more exaggerated. So the cough of being more exaggerated than the cough of a cold. The cough of a flu is more exaggerated, meaning it's more boisterous, more stronger, more often, because there's more poison. The body is going, if this is the threshold and the toxins have gotten just that much over it, then the body don't have to do much tidy work. It just have to cough up a good bit of little stuff and you back up under. All right. But if it go way up here, the body have to do some big boy coughing, bark like a dog, big dog, roof, 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 you know, and get that poison back up under there. All right. All right. Now, in the case of pneumonia, the poison get really high that it start seeping through the lungs and everything. So the body have to, you cough harder with a pneumonia, and the poisons are coming out in big mucus plaques, and it's being stored in fluid, being, urine and all type of stuff is coming out through the lung until you get it all back down. All right. So each one of these so-called diseases is just a activity of the body, more or less exaggerated. Now, the more exaggerated, they give a new name to it. If it's just a little coughing and sneezing, he just got a simple cold. If it's coughing, sneezing with headache and fever, then oh, you got the flu. And if it's coming with that and you got purulent stuff coming out through the lungs, then they're going to call it pneumonia. All right. So it's just the symptoms that's being grouped together to give a name to your disease. But it's all just symptoms of the body or action of the body to free itself of waste. So it's just a vicarious elimination. It's just a purge. All right. Now, any treatment that obstructs this effort at elimination baffles nature. So when you go and, like I said, anytime that your body is trying to get rid of this waste, all right, remember the threshold, and there's the waste. The waste goes up. Now the body is going to sneeze. Every time it sneezes, it comes down. Chew, 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 chew. All right. Every time it go up, you start coughing. And it come down every time you cough up that stuff. Every time you vomit, it come out. All right. Every time you diarrhea, it's coming out. All right. So now, if you diarrhea and it's coming out, and you take something to stop the diarrhea, it what? It stops. If it's up here and you coughing out stuff, you take a cough suppressant, it stops. All right. Every time you sneeze, chew, 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 and you take something to stop the sneezing, it stops. You have fever and you take something to stop the fever, it stops. So the waste never gets up under here because no more waste is being thrown out of the system. No more purge. Every time you take something, you're stopping the purge. You're not letting it run a course. The body has initiated this detox. It initiated this purge. It initiated this elimination. But every time you take something, you're interfering with the elimination, the natural instincts of the body to free itself of waste. So you're interfering with nature itself. You're obstructing nature from doing her work of house cleaning. Now, this baffles nature, it says. And then she don't even know how to do any cleansing anymore. So most times why it go from acute to chronic disease is because when the poisons can't leave the body because you keep stopping it, then that poison have to be stored in a joint, in the throat, around the heart. And while this poison is sitting around there, it's irritating the heart, causing you to have carditis. It's housed up under the say the esophagus and giving you esophagitis. It might be around the larynx, giving you laryngitis. It might be around the tonsils, giving you tonsillitis. It might be around the adenoids, giving you adenitis. It might be around the colon, giving you colitis. It might be in the joints, giving you arthritis. You know, you know, wherever it's at, it's going to just be an itis at the end. It's inflammation. So wherever the toxins are stored, those toxins are irritating the cells and tissues. That irritation causes an inflammation. All right. So this poison sitting there and it gets next to the cell and it starts scratching that cell, irritating it. And that irritation causes a reddening and inflammation and inflamed feeling. And then it start cutting into it and it start leaking and ulcerating. And then for that cell to adapt, it have to get harder to withstand that constant irritation. So that hardening is what you're going to cause early stage cancer. The cell had to harden itself to withstand constant irritation. What was irritating? Well, the constant poison. So as long as we keep poison in our body, we are allowing our body to go down the stages of disease. We're hearing a lot of information about what causes disease, but we just said poison in the blood that's trapped in the blood that's not getting out because either we don't have the energy to get it out or we keep suppressing it, stopping it. We keep cutting the fire alarm off and not doing anything about the fire. And most time in all sickness, like we go to the doctor, we take his pills and potions. We go to the herb man and take his sea moss and all his so-called herbal remedies and teas and detoxes and stuff. But in their time, do we address the cause? You know, we take stuff to put the fire out while we still got torches in there burning. The torch, the gasoline, spilling out in there. We got a gasoline connection. We got a gasoline reserve sitting right in there, and we got a never-ending torch just burning that gasoline, causing burst of flames all through the body. And what we do is we just palliate and suppress the smoke. We do nothing about the gas spillage. We do nothing about the constant flame pointed at the gas. That's our habits. Our habits are in direct connection to our sickness. What we do on a daily basis, what we eat on a daily basis, is directly connected to your cough, to your sneeze, to that ache in your back, to that ache in your shoulders, to that ache in that head that won't stop, to the eyes going dim, to the diabetes, to the high blood pressure, to the high cholesterol, to the numbness and tingling in the hands and feet. All these health issues that we're suffering from is directly connected to your day-to-day activities. There's no herb, there's no remedy, there's no cure except for change of lifestyle habits and change of your daily activities. What you're eating, what you're drinking, how you're living, how you're sleeping, all those things. You're out of order. And only until you get back in order will your body be at ease. From now on, it's going to be at a dis-ease. It's going to be at a discomfort. But to get it back in comfort, you have to change your lifestyle habits. You have to get in alignment with the laws that govern your body. What are the laws? Eat right, breathe right, drink right, sleep right, get movement, stay away from toxic people, keep the will to live, maintain a congenial environment, clean and of the right temperature. All right. So don't allow yourself to get into extreme temperatures. All right. So let's get another one out of the way here. The cause of disease, first, lasting all the time, is a selfish body and mind bent on self-indulgence. This is Dr. John H. Tilden. The cause of disease exists, and nature returns to normal when innervating, meaning low functioning power, things that rob the body of function, self-destructive habits are given up. So those are habits that are robbing the body of energy. They're called innervating habits. One and all, there are not cures in the general sense of the word. Every so-called disease is built within the mind and body by relentless innervating habits, draining habits. So the cause of disease, first, last, and all the time. So we're going to be telling you this from the first time you hear us talk. We're going to tell you this the last time we talk, and all in the middle. The cause of disease is a selfish body and mind bent on self-indulgence. Have no control, no discipline, no knowledge. The cause of disease exists, and nature returns to normal when those bad habits are stopped. The self-destructive habits, the habits that keep draining you of your vital energy, your vitality. Once they're given up, one and all of them, there are not cures in the general sense of the word. Like there's nothing out here like how we're being told, you can cure the body using this. There's no such thing as cures. All right. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a second. We're going to take a quick, brief break. I posted that done did a couple of commercials already. So we're going to take a commercial and we'll be right back. All right? Commercial.
Hi, I'm Katie Brewington and I'm running for Magistrate Court Judge. Magistrate Court is often called the People's Court because people represent themselves or are pro se litigants. Magistrate Court handles civil claims up to $15,000, dispossessory proceedings, pre-warrant applications, and good behavior bonds. I'm a great candidate for judge because I have the experience, compassion, and drive to get the job done. I have been a probation officer, a criminal defense attorney, a solicitor, and a municipal court judge, and I will take all of that experience to get the job done. So remember, vote Katie Brewington, May 21st, from Magistrate.
If you can understand this, innervation is spelled Enervation. Thank you for coming back and staying with us. But innervation is low functioning power or low vitality. It's a state of drained power or no power or really low power, right? So when our body goes into a fatigue state of vitality, organs and tissues are unable to do their job efficiently. Now, the organs that causes the most problem are those organs of elimination. When the kidneys can't filter the blood properly, when the colon can't filter the blood properly, when the lungs can't filter the blood properly, when the liver can't neutralize waste in the body properly, then the waste builds up in the blood and nothing is being purified from the blood. Because you got to think about it. When the blood goes to the kidneys filter all the waste material out of the blood. When the blood goes to the colon extracts all the solid waste matter out of the blood. When the blood goes to the lungs filter out all the carbonic gases and other so-called gases out of the blood, and the blood become pure. It get charged up with some more oxygen. It get charged up with some more water and food by way of digestion, and it becomes new blood. All right, and then it goes around and feed the cells and tissues, and the cells they dip their hand in there and pull out materials they need to repair themselves and to function properly. And then the blood goes circle back round with all, it picks up its waste too from the cells, and then it goes back round to all those elimination organs and they filter out again. But those organs become fatigued and tired when they're being overused and abused on our habits. Because normally, under normal wear and tear of the body, the organs of elimination can deal with normal wear and tear. But when they have to deal with toxic substances such as food and drink and other toxic poisons that we have in our environment and we subject our bodies to, then those organs constantly have to go into the mode of detoxing. Let's say, for example, you drink some alcohol. Before you drink the alcohol, you might urinate once every 3 hours. Soon as you start drinking alcohol, your urination hikes up to about 1 every 10 minutes. All right. You urinating every 10 minutes now. Now, that means that you have just ingested a bunch of poison and the body is going through a period of detoxing. All right. So it's purifying the blood of the alcoholic poison that you just ingested. Now, this is causing the kidneys to work overtime. Constant abuse to the kidneys is going to cause the kidneys to shut down or become fatigued, sluggish, So they're wasting energy, and the energy in them is becoming lowered and lowered and lowered, and they're being damaged. So when the body become innervated or low in functioning power from constant use of energy, the energy runs out, and now the organs no longer can keep up with the waste because you're steady drinking. You're still drinking, but now you're not going to the bathroom that often, not because the poison ain't there, but because you don't have energy to move the poison out of your body now. So now the poison is accumulating inside the blood. And that accumulation starts the disease process. So the accumulated blood, poison in the blood is toxemia. The poison blood starts to, circulate through the body, irritating cells and tissues, causing inflammation to the cells and tissue, causing ulceration to the cells and tissue, leading to induration of the cells and tissue, and then degeneration or mutation of the cells and tissues. So here it is. You start off, your body able to get rid of the poison. Now it's no longer can, you go in the house, you have enough energy to clean up the house, but you got extra people coming in there dirtying up the house. Now you don't have the energy to keep the house so clean that you're just doing a little bit per day, and now the waste and trash is getting proliferated inside the house, is just accumulating at a lot. You get more trash bags pile up, you get more clothes thrown across the floor and all this type of stuff. More dirt is getting on everything. And this happened over a period of time. It becomes so terrible that now parasites and bacteria and mold start growing inside the house. And this is a dilapidation. The buildings start decaying away, all because of uncleanliness. This is the same thing going on in our bodies. The poisons accumulate, because we don't have the energy to keep house cleaning because we got all this extra waste coming into the body, natural waste and stuff like that. We keep all this waste in the body so long that parasites start coming in and eating away of it and leaving behind even more toxic substances and eating away at the organs and tissues as well. And now the organs and tissues are becoming even more inflamed. They're hardening due to the constant irritation, and they are mutating now. This is not a good situation. So the best way to get yourself out of that stage is to reverse it. All right. If you want to stop the mutation and degeneration, well, you got to stop the induration, the hardening. If you want the hardening to stop, then you got to stop the ulceration. You got to stop the cutting into it. It's only going to hard if it keeps getting bust. The skin gonna get harder and harder the more you cut and bust into it. Ulceration is the busting into it. The induration is the hardening, the scab that come across there to stop you from damaging it. But that hardened tissue is no longer vital tissue. You want to stop the ulceration, you got to stop the inflammation. Well, what's causing the inflammation? Constant irritation. All right, that's what's causing it to become inflamed, and keep scratching it. All right, so you stop the irritation only by removing or stop putting so much toxins in your body and allowing the body to be able to get rid and keep the toxins under a certain threshold. All right, and the only way to keep toxins out of the body is to keep the organs and the organs of elimination and other organs in the body full of power. So we got to get rid of innervation. You got to make sure that your body is highly vital. They got to be full of energy. All right, and it'll create a bunch of avenues of getting rid of that waste. You see kids have acute diseases and older people have chronic diseases. Acute diseases is the body initiating waste purging, vicarious elimination. All right. Chronic disease is where the body can't get rid of it no more. It don't even have energy to sneeze. It don't even have energy to cough. It don't even have energy to purge it out through these, acute routes of elimination. So it just hold on to the waste and start breaking down tissues and cells and stuff like that and leading into our chronic issues. All right. So let's move on a little more. I know we're supposed to be talking about fasting. We're going to bring that into our next show. So make sure you tune in, tell a friend, where they can hear more about holistic health and healing from our point of view, which is our nature cure and natural hygiene. It's the most naturalist way to do it. Natural as F. Believe what I'm telling you now. All right. Let's go to this part here where Dr. Tilton is talking about. And we got a lot of sayings from Dr. Tilton, and February almost over. So I want to make sure I get as much of his sayings in this February, because we're going to go into some other teachings after, in next month. So make sure you stick with us and tell people about us, where you can help people get the knowledge about how to heal themselves with the cause of their sicknesses, and how to reverse it, where we can have more healthy people in the world, healthy minds, healthy bodies. More can get done, and we don't have to have all this crying of death in our families and stuff like that. And we can save a lot of money too. Health insurance, we can save a lot of money from medical expenses, all this type of stuff. You got to think about it. It's a wise investment to take care of your health and to take care of yourself. You'd be able to go to work. You don't have to be out on sick days. There's so much benefits in taking care and being healthy. All right. So let's go to this next one. Said, the truth is that we are not needing a doctor at all. What we need is to be taught self-control, poise, equanimity, repose. And when these impulses are sent over the sympathetic nerve to our subconscious, or our maker, we shall begin to receive images of our ideal until an approach to perfection is maintained. We are made in the image of ideals we hold. If our ideal is for perfect health, we certainly cannot expect a sensual life to build it. We may have an image, but if we do not live it, a distortion will surely be created. Now, this is faith without work is dead, in other words, what he's saying. You can imagine and hold an ideal perfection of yourself, but if you have no control of your daily habits, you have no control of and discipline over what you're eating, or what you're drinking, your lack of exercise, you can't get yourself to get up and go to the gym. If you have no discipline, the ideal you hold in yourself, this big buff person, healthy person, not having this, have aches and pains, not having to use medicines and remedies and stuff like that. If you don't put the work in, then your ideal is really void and useless. So let's put faith with works, and you'll see something really happen in your life real rapidly. All right. So we're going to do another one, and then we're going to take another break. We're going to do one more, then we're going to take another break, and then we're going to go ahead and start, shutting down, for we about reaching our hour. We just want to make sure that you come and visit us every week and learn more about holistic health and healing. The more you get into the knowledge about how the body works, it becomes amazing and fascinating. When you see that, well, I don't have to pay anybody for health. All I have to do is learn, change, and renew my mind of what I've been taught. We've been taught a bunch of hocus pocus, hocus bogus, a bunch of voodoo and all type of hoodoo. But when I'm using those in a funny way, so I hope no one get offended. But we've been taught a bunch of stuff that has carried our mind into straight ignorance, and it has caused us to start suffering more, because we don't have the mind to live right. We don't have the mind to even know what is right, because we thinking that health comes at the end of a knife, as in surgery, or we think that health is the result of us taking our medication on time. We even think health is in medication. We think health is in pills. We think health is in potions. We think we can gain health from daily drinking teas and making slop drinks and all type of other so-called remedial treatments and syrups and gobs of this and gobs of that. You know, tinctures of this and tinctures of that. But that's not the case. Here we go. Rest from habits that innervate is the only way to put nature in line for healing. Sleep and rest of the body and mind are necessary to keep a sufficient supply of nerve energy. Now, nerve energy is the vitality that I was telling you, all this power, this functioning power that we need to, the organ needs to, the lungs need to breathe and exchange that carbon for oxygen. The kidneys need to get rid of uric crystals, salts, and sugars, and all type of other crystals that get trapped in the body. Um, it need energy. The colon need energy to extract the solid waste matter out of the blood. The liver needs energy to neutralize toxins and waste that gets trapped in the body or even enter the body. You have to neutralize these things, render them less toxic where they can get out of the body without doing too much damage. But all that requires energy. That energy in natural hygiene is called nerve energy. All right, it's a nervous energy. All right, and that nerve energy, few people in active life rest enough. You accumulate that energy from rest, from inactivity. Sleep is the best way to restore your nerve energy. That's what repose. Cut back on all the things in activity. Take a break, rest, sleep, nap, do something and rejuvenate yourself. That's the rejuvenation of your energy, your power, your functioning power, your vitality. Children, if you notice, kids, for them to build themselves from a baby, they sleep. Babies are required to sleep like 18 hours a day or sometimes 20. They sleep the whole day. They just get up just to feed. That sleeping is building and repairing. They need to build up that nerve energy, that functioning power, that vitality. And they do it for such a long time. Even the young kids, they're still sleeping and taking naps throughout the day. The child, when he's going through puberty, we notice that all he's doing is eating and sleeping. You just eating, sleeping, and growing like a tree. Sleep is the energy that you need to repair and build. It's the power to build, power to repair, and power to grow. All right. So this is the same thing. When we're sick, it's required for us to go to sleep. Most people, when they're sick, they just want to lay in the bed and sleep. They sleep that sickness out of them. So sleeping gives your body energy for healing. All right. So rest from habits and innovate is the only way to put nature in line for healing. Not only do you need to sleep, but you can't do no bad habits while you're sleeping. You don't see nobody smoking while they're sleeping. You don't see people eating while they're sleeping. You don't see people having sex while they're sleeping. Nothing goes on while you're sleeping. You're just asleep. You're in a dead state. Just laid out, sleep. So sleeping is the number one way to restore energy back to the body. Fasting is the way to do it when you're not sleeping. Fasting, not eating, drinking only water according to thirst. Fasting from energy drainers such as oversexing, overworking, or working period. During a long fast, we usually tell people they need to take a hiatus where they just don't do no work. They just lay up and just rest. Just rest. All right. Now, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back and we're going to recap a little bit and then we're going to take out and we're going to come full forth next week. Make sure you lock in and make sure you follow and like Our Black Media. They're on Facebook under Our Black Media, and they're also on YouTube under Our Black Media. So make sure you go hit like and follow, and make sure you share with other people on your timeline, people who friends with you. Just hit some links to some people in your phone and let them know that there is a way to heal. If you care about anybody, if you care about life, period, if you have love in yourself, awaken somebody to the self-healing power of their own body through our message of natural hygiene or our nature cure. This is a simple thing. It's not going to cost them anything. It only costs them their time and their ear to listen. And, just watch us. If you read lips, eat right, drink right, get rest. If you read lips, But however you get this message, just get the message that we're offering about how to restore the body back to full function and power. All right. So we're going to go to break and we'll be right back. All right. I'm reading out of Victoria Bidwell, Health Seekers book. She's a great lady. She's out of Washington, Concrete, Washington. And she's one of the pioneers of holistic health under natural hygiene and our nature cure. She's been with some of the greatest doctors, Dr. Herbert Shelton, Dr. Tilden. You had some of the older ones. I don't know if she kind of hung out with them, but this lady is still living. Oh, Vivian Vetrano, who just recently died at a good ripe old age, almost hitting 100, and still in her right mind. The things that usually take the holistic doctors out are either, maybe some of them good medical guys want them out of the picture because they messing up their interest and their money. But maybe even the stress, of having to deal with so much of the minds of the people and not able to really make ends meet. They still have to go out here and work and try to heal people, due to the fact that, there's no money in teaching people really to be healthy. There's only money in drugging people. All right. So only drugs get you paid around here. You gotta have some poison to get people paid. But here is the book that I was telling you about, where we teach about is Toxemia Explained by Dr. J.H. Tilden. All right. I'm not reading from this book, but this is the book that tells you all about what's the cause of disease and how you cause disease through low function and power. After reading this book, if you still believe in the medical mindset, then obviously you need to read it again. But I doubt you'll be in the medical mindset after reading this book. It's Toxemia Explained by Dr. J.H. Tilden. All right. So in here, he said, dependable knowledge of what disease really is and its cause is man and woman's healing salvation. And when it can be had with no more effort than that required to read carefully and understandingly, Toxemia Explained. There is little excuse for anyone, lay or professional, to live in ignorance of it. So just to get this book and read this book, I got a shelf behind me. I got a shelf in front of me. I got a shelf in the hallway of my house. I got a shelf downstairs full up with health books, self-help books, psychology books, and any book that try to help restore the individual back to sound health and body. and mind. This one is one of the main ones that I tend to put into people's hands and let them read. Because once you understand what is toxemia, you understand the cause of all disease. There is this one disease, which is toxemia. And when you learn how to avoid toxemia, you don't suffer anymore. That's the beauty of it. What if you can cut the problem off at its root? You don't have to treat this disease and treat that disease and treat that disease. That's where the beauty came at in what I teach. People can come to me with this disease, come to me with this so-called disease and this so-called disease, and all I have to do is teach them toxemia, the theory of toxemia, remove the toxemia, and all their diseases start falling off one by one. Toxemia is considered to be the tree stump. All right, the tree. All the diseases are the leaves on the tree. If I want to get rid of all the leaves, all I have to do is cut at the tree. I don't have to go snipping at the leaves. I just cut off the tree at the bottom, cut the toxemia out, the whole tree fall over and die. So if I want all the symptoms of disease to disappear, then I need to get to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is toxemia. And what causes toxemia? Innervation, low functioning power. When the body becomes low in functioning power, toxins start to build up and accumulate and irritate and inflame and ulcerate and indurate. Indurate means hardening. And then it starts to degenerate, start shriveling up, becoming useless. Or it tends to mutate and start creating cancerous cells and tissues. That's the last stage of disease. All right. So, all you need to do, pick up a book. You don't need to go and search for no new herb, no new remedy. You don't have to go looking for a skilled doctor. You don't even have to go find you a so-called righteous healer that can you lay hands on you and pray that demon out of you. Well, the demon would be the ignorance of not eating right and not doing right and different stuff like that. That's the only evil that surrounds you. The ignorance that we've been taught. That's what surrounds us. That's the evil. The evil, the devil. All right. So what we have to do is put ourselves around positive stuff. Start getting into. If you notice, there's a big thing going on in the world today where we are waking up to what health is. This is a movement going on. You're gonna have to jump in sooner or later. Might well go ahead and jump in now. Get on the bandwagon. Start feeling good. Stop waiting till the last minute and suffering and dying irreversible. Well, according to them, irreversible. But I've seen miracles happen in my years of teaching holistic health and healing. So I'm gonna walk away from this today, and I'm going to step back up, and we're going to take this journey again together with Natural as Elf. I want you to become Natural as Elf. Get away from the commercial mindset of disease. Get away from the drugging mindset of disease, the curing mindset of disease. Get away from this built world, this fabricated world and environment that we have placed around ourselves, this bubble of toxins. Our eating is in that bubble. Our drinking is in that bubble. Our lack of fresh air is in that bubble. Our lack of sunlight is in that bubble. Our lack of rest is in that bubble. Our lack of emotional poise is in that bubble. Toxic people are in that bubble. We need to bust that bubble and surround ourselves with a new bubble of good eating, good drinking, good breathing, adequate sunlight, ideal foods, regular exercise, rest and relaxation to build up that energy, rest, emotional poise, and, beautiful relationships, keep the will to live, have a laudable purpose in life, find something good to do that's going to, make you feel good. Nothing you have to be looking over your back for anything like that. Something that's going to, make your heart warm as you do it. Giving love back to life, loving life everywhere you can find life. And life is everywhere if you just open your eyes. This is your host, your coach, Ferrante Frazier with Natural Hygiene. Natural is F. You can find us at savannahnaturalhealth@gmail.com. Call us at 912-227-9335. Learn more about health. You need a guide? Let us guide you to health. Otherwise, follow us every Tuesday at 6 o'clock up here live, where we can teach you the ways of health and meet some of the people who are taking the journey with us. Best of health and happiness. See you next week.